Have you ever felt like you're living a life that wasn't meant for you, as if there's another version of yourself, more fulfilled, more confident, more abundant, living in a parallel reality, invisible yet so close you could almost touch it? And what if I told you that this alternative reality is not a fantasy, but a real possibility, accessible through a shift in mental frequency? In this video, you're going to discover the technique of quantum jumping, a surprisingly simple yet powerful method that can lead you into a new reality. A technique validated by the revolutionary studies of Jacobo Grinberg, which prove that reality is nothing more than a projection of your mind. And before we move forward, write this phrase in the comments: I choose to vibrate in the reality of my best self. This gesture is not just symbolic, it's the first step to align your energy with the transformation you're about to experience. To understand the technique of quantum jumping, we first need to dive into the research of one of the greatest visionaries of the 20th century, Jacobo Grinberg. A Mexican neuroscientist and psychologist, Grinberg dedicated his life to studying the structure of human consciousness, bridging scientific rigor with ancestral wisdom such as shamanism. His research revealed something that defies conventional logic. The reality we perceive is not fixed, but a projection shaped by the mind, a neural lattice that can be altered through states of expanded perception. Grinberg believed in the existence of a unified field of consciousness, a kind of energetic matrix from which we draw our experiences, shaped by our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. In other words, you don't observe reality, you create it. This vision is echoed by other teachers, such as Neville Goddard, who taught that whatever we feel to be true in the drowsy state before sleep eventually materializes. Modern neuroscience confirms this as well. The brain accepts as real anything experienced vividly in states dominated by theta brainwaves, the same frequencies accessed in deep meditation or visualization. Now that you understand the scientific and spiritual foundation behind this technique, let's dive into the process of quantum jumping. Most people believe reality is something external, unchanging, and independent of their thoughts or actions. But this belief is the first obstacle to any deep transformation. According to Jacobo Grinberg, what we call reality is actually a neurological construction, a simulation created by the mind through sensory input, memories, and unconscious beliefs. Imagine for a moment that your mind functions like a movie projector. What you see in the outside world, your relationships, your health, your finances, your opportunities, is just the screen. The real movie is playing inside you, powered by your mental field. This field, which Grinberg called the neural lattice, is made up of everything you believe to be true about yourself and the world. So if you believe life is hard, that you are unworthy, or that nothing ever works out for you, that is the reality your mind will project. And here's the most striking part. The human mind ignores everything that doesn't align with its pre-existing internal patterns, which means that even if an opportunity is right in front of you, if your mind is not programmed to recognize it, it will be filtered out, as if it doesn't exist. This happens because the brain uses a filter called the reticular activating system, RAS, which selects which stimuli you'll consciously perceive based on what you consider important, consciously or unconsciously. Therefore, your current reality is not a reflection of absolute truth, but of what your mind has been trained to recognize as possible. This explains why some people thrive even during crises, while others fail despite being surrounded by opportunities. The difference lies in what each one sees, and even more, in what each one creates with what they see. Jacobo Grinberg showed that by modifying the structure of the mental field, reality itself reorganizes in response. This is because the mind doesn't just interpret reality, it interacts with it, shaping what is perceived, attracted, and manifested. Accepting that reality is a mutable projection of your consciousness is the first step toward a quantum jump. This understanding shatters the paradigm of passivity and places you in the role of co-creator of your experience. You're not stuck with the life you currently have. You're simply tuned into a frequency that reproduces this pattern. And as we'll now see, changing that frequency is the key to accessing a new reality. If reality is shaped by your mind, what exactly defines the type of reality you experience every day? The answer lies in the frequency you vibrate at, and this frequency is directly determined by your inner identity. Everything in the universe is energy in motion. Your thoughts, emotions, and attitudes emit vibrational signals that resonate with the field around you. What few realize is that this vibration is not defined only by what you consciously want, but mainly by the image you unconsciously hold of yourself. Your identity, the silent "who I am" you repeat every day, dictates your frequency. For example, if you see yourself as limited, needy, small, or always at a disadvantage, even if you consciously desire a prosperous and abundant life, your vibration won't match that new reality. The result? Reality responds to your vibration, not to your desire. You'll keep experiencing situations that reinforce the old identity. This explains why so many people who read books, take courses, or watch motivational videos still can't change their lives. They accumulate knowledge, but they don't update their internal frequency. Deep down, they remain the same limited version of themselves, and the universe responds with more limitation. Jacobo Grinberg taught that reality is a dynamic field that adjusts to the observer. The way you perceive yourself shapes how this field responds to you. If you believe you are unlucky, the field responds with negative coincidences. If you believe you are magnetic and deserving, it brings you opportunities that align with that perception. Your identity frequency acts like a selective magnet. It's not simply about attracting good or bad things. It's about attracting experiences that confirm who you believe you are. Your mind seeks coherence, and to maintain it, it filters and creates situations that reinforce the image you hold of yourself. Therefore, the first step to leaving your current reality is not wishing for something new, but becoming someone new. This takes more than words. It takes emotion, attitude, and repetition. If you want to experience a different reality, you must begin to vibrate as someone who already lives in that reality. This means changing how you think, feel, and act every day. It means adopting a new identity, even if your external world hasn't yet caught up. In the next section, we'll explore exactly how to put this identity shift into practice using the technique of quantum jumping. Quantum jumping is not a miracle or supernatural phenomenon. It is a shift in your internal state so deep that it forces external reality to reorganize. The technique itself is simple, but it requires clarity, intention, and consistency. It rests on 3 pillars: visualization, emotion, and repetition in an altered state of consciousness. The first step is to clearly define who you want to become. It's not enough to just want a better life or more money. The universe responds to clear messages. Who is the version of you already living this new reality? How does this person think, feel, act, decide, and behave? The jump only happens when you connect with a new identity and fully abandon the old one. Once you're clear on that, the second step is structured visualization. In a calm moment, ideally right after waking up or before sleeping, when your brain is in theta waves, close your eyes and visualize the new reality as if it's already happening. Notice the details, the environment, the colors, the people, the physical sensations. Your brain does not distinguish between real and vividly imagined. The more real it feels, the more powerful the reprogramming will be. Next comes the key element, emotion. It's not enough to see it. You must feel it. Feel as if it's already true. Imagine the joy of reaching a goal, the peace of being debt-free, the confidence of looking in the mirror and recognizing your best self. Emotion is the code that opens the subconscious mind, and it's there where the jump occurs. The fourth step is repetition. As Grinberg explained, the mental field is reconfigured by repeating new information until it overcomes the resistance of the unconscious. He noted that after 6 repetitions charged with genuine emotion, the mind begins to accept it as real. That's why, during this exercise, you should repeat your affirmation with faith and conviction at least 6 times. Something like, "I am prosperous and everything flows easily for me," or "I live my best self every single day." Finally, after visualizing and feeling this new identity, act as if it is already real. Don't wait for reality to change before you change your behavior. Make choices, take actions, and position yourself as this new version. This creates coherence between your inner and outer worlds and accelerates manifestation. This technique is not mere imagination. It activates a new frequency in your mental field, capable of attracting different realities. Each time you practice, you dissolve the old identity and strengthen the new one. Now that you know the technique, let's go deeper into the most powerful element of this process: creative visualization with emotion, the true engine of transformation. Visualization is more than imagining pretty scenes in your mind. It's a scientific and spiritual tool of transformation. But what makes visualization truly effective is the emotion attached to it. Visualization without emotion is like sending a letter without an address. Emotion gives life to the new you want to become. Jacobo Grinberg taught that the mind is a holographic system that interacts with reality vibrationally, which means what you feel deeply while visualizing is received by the quantum field as a command to create. The universe doesn't respond to what you rationally want, but to what you emotionally feel as true. Imagine someone who wants to become confident. Just picturing themselves speaking in public is not enough. They need to feel confidence in the body, warmth in the chest, a spontaneous smile, a sparkle in the eyes, an inner pride for doing something meaningful. These emotions create resonance with a new reality. It's like switching the dial on a radio. When your vibration changes, what you hear, see, and attract also changes. Creative visualization must be detailed. It's not about vaguely imagining a new car or dream house. You need to enter the scene as if you're really there. Touch the steering wheel, feel the seat, hear the engine, smell the air. Apply this to your new self. See yourself smiling, wearing the clothes you desire, being praised, making confident decisions, living with lightness and personal power. The key is to make the visualization sensorially and emotionally vivid. The subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what is happening and what is strongly imagined with emotion. By repeating this, you start creating a new inner structure, and this structure shapes your actions and decisions in the physical world. Another crucial point is consistency. Visualizing once in a while doesn't bring lasting results. It's like training a muscle. Repetition builds strength. That's why you should choose fixed times in your day to practice. It can be upon waking and before sleeping. These are moments when the brain is most receptive, operating in alpha and theta states, ideal for reprogramming. And remember, don't visualize to ask for something from the universe. Visualize as someone already living it. Assume the posture of someone who doesn't need to convince, only to give thanks. The dominant emotion should be gratitude, fullness, and certainty. When you practice creative visualization with true emotion, you begin to shape your energetic identity. And identity is destiny. The quantum jump begins the moment you feel you already are this new version, even if the external world hasn't changed yet. In the next step, we'll see why acting as if it's already real is the bridge between the invisible world and tangible manifestation. Visualizing and feeling are powerful steps in quantum jumping, But there's one element that separates those who merely dream from those who truly transform their lives: acting as if it's already real. This behavior isn't pretending, it's vibrational coherence. It's living proof that your new identity is already active. The mind needs evidence to accept a new version of itself. When you begin acting as someone who already lives the desired reality, you send a clear signal to your subconscious. This is real. And when that happens, the universe responds by reorganizing events, people, and circumstances to match this new frequency. Think of someone who wants to be prosperous. They could sit around waiting for money to fall from the sky, or they could adopt the habits of a prosperous person even before abundance arrives. This might mean investing in knowledge, treating their finances with organization, maintaining an attitude of gratitude and abundance in everyday life. Small gestures like dressing better, carrying themselves with confidence, or making bolder decisions all create a new energetic signature. The key isn't how much you have, but how you behave with what you have. Many people say they'll act differently once everything changes, but the universe works the other way around. When you change, everything changes. Aligned action is the most powerful language of the quantum field. Jacobo Grinberg explained that the mind emits patterns that resonate in the unified field, shaping experiences based on vibrational information. Acting as if is a vibrational reinforcement. It's consciously choosing to tune into a new line of reality, even if your eyes don't yet see the change. This attitude accelerates the transition because you break the cycle of waiting and step into the role of creator. Think of someone who wants to find their ideal love. Instead of passively waiting, they start taking care of themselves, going out more, expressing themselves with authenticity, like someone already in a happy relationship. This shifts not only the energy they emit, but also their perception and actions, opening paths that were previously blocked. This is the bridge between mind and matter, action with intention. It's not about action for action's sake, but about action as a reflection of your new identity. The alignment between thought, emotion, and behavior sustains the frequency that attracts a new reality. In the next subtopic, we'll explore one of the most powerful moments to apply all of this practice: the mental state before sleep, the hypnagogic portal where transformation becomes inevitable. There is a moment each day when your mind becomes fertile soil, ready to absorb any idea as absolute truth. This moment happens in the minutes before sleep, when you enter the state called hypnagogia. In this in-between stage of wakefulness and deep sleep, your brain's frequency slows from beta, active, into alpha and theta, the same pattern seen in young children, highly impressionable. Jacobo Grinberg identified this state as a direct bridge to the unified field of consciousness. He believed that at this point, the barrier between conscious and subconscious dissolves, allowing mental images, emotions, and intentions to enter directly into the structure of reality. In other words, what you think and feel in this moment has the power to shape your life. It is also in this state that the energetic identity you want to create can be most easily installed. That's because the subconscious, which governs more than 90% of your behaviors, doesn't distinguish between reality and vivid imagination. It simply accepts whatever is repeated with emotion as a command. This means what you do mentally and emotionally before sleep can become a silent script your life will follow upon waking. Now consider, what do you usually feed your mind before falling asleep? Worries? Frustrations? Negative thoughts about your day or future? If that's the case, you are programming more of the same. Unconsciously, you're reinforcing the very reality you want to change. But once you realize this, you hold the key to transformation. The technique is simple yet powerful. Lie down comfortably, free yourself from external distractions, and allow your body to relax. Begin to repeat mentally the affirmation that represents your new identity, such as, "I am confident and everything works in my favor," or "I am already living the reality of my dreams." Then visualize a concrete scene that represents that new life, something you would be doing if you were already that version of yourself. Feel the emotion as if it were happening now. The secret is not in the number of phrases or images, but in the intensity of the emotion. The more real it feels, the deeper the impact on your subconscious. Repeating this practice night after night creates a new mental structure that begins to reflect in your behavior, decisions, and the situations that appear in your life. Subtle signs will start to show up. Mood changes, unexpected encounters, unlikely opportunities. This isn't coincidence, it's vibrational alignment. The moments before sleep are a portal, and now that you understand how to use it, it becomes a sacred tool to transform your identity and consequently, your reality. Now that you've grasped the true nature of reality and discovered the technique of quantum jumping, the question is, what will you do with this power? Knowing isn't enough. You must apply it. Transformation begins the moment you decide to stop repeating old patterns and start living as your new self. Set aside a few minutes every night to practice the exercise before bed. Feel the emotion of your new identity. Visualize the reality you desire, and most importantly, live as if it's already real. Quantum jumps don't happen with a big explosion, but through silent and consistent decisions that shift your vibration day by day. And remember, you are not alone in this journey. Share in the comments the phrase, "I am already living my new reality," to declare to the universe and to yourself that the process has already begun. If this content touched you in any way, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone you feel needs to hear this message. The more people awaken to the power they hold, the more the world transforms. The reality you desire already exists. Now it's only up to you to align with it.